Welcome to POL Classics. Be sure to check out the best of POL from over the years. It's at its most popular day and time, and guess what? It's only on WNEP+.
WNEP proudly presents the premier outdoor show in northeastern and central Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, your window to the great outdoors. Tonight on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life.
We'll brave the weather to pile up some Pennsylvania pickerel, and then we'll pickle up a peck of pickerel.
The hooks are all baited. Pennsylvania Outdoor Life starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. I'm Ken Hunter and I'm here with Don Jacobs, and we have some special guests with us. We have our fine fishing field staff member, Ray Sohaki, and over here to my left we have our proud pickerel pickling pro, Ed Stopansky.
I'll say that
How
five
about
fast.
Thank you, Ken.
Now, Ed, tell us, what are we going to be doing here
We're
today?
going to make some pickled pickerel, pickled fish. It's a great way to use up used game fish that you might have in the freezer, and it's very simple to do.
Now, we've got to catch those fish first, Jake.
And sometimes catching pickerel is a problem.
Yes.
And to turn to our pickle catching pro, Ray Sohaki, are they an easy fish to catch?
They're easy as long as the weather is nice, but the day we were out, it's a whole different story.
And now you're talking about the day we spent on Lake Henry, aren't you?
Yes.
We did. We went out and tried to get some pickerel for pickling. I did say that right. And we spent the afternoon on Lake Henry. Okay.
But I figure we just come out here, let me get out here so we don't drift into shore or something. We'll start fishing. I mean, we could just put the trolling motor down and start fishing.
Yeah, let's do that.
A medium-sized shiner, and I use like a 1/0 Gamakatsu hook, and I just put the shiner through the lips and then just drag it alongside the boat. And another thing we'll be using will be a quick strike. It's called a strike guard. Now this is a strike guard so that when you put it on your rod, you can set it up on the rod and just put it on. It goes right over the cork handle, and then you can leave your bail after you can put your strike guard on the rod, take your minnow, cast it out, and then so that if you close your bail and you get a bite, the fish will pull your rod right over the side of the boat. So what we do with the strike guard, you leave your bail open and you just set it in the guard like that, and you tighten up the pressure so that when the fish pulls it, when you get a bite, it just releases and it goes, and the fish could run and not pull your rod over the boat. Is that a fish? Go up the front. Go around the front. Go around the trolling motor. Hey, you got a fish.
Yeah, I do.
There you go.
In the pouring rain. Pouring rain. What do we got here? Oh, we got a largemouth.
Largemouth.
There we go. Everything loves these live bait, don't they?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
In the pouring rain. All right, you're going back in.
This lake is loaded with a lot of pickerel, a lot of bluegills, calico, nice perch. We're at Lake Henry on Mount Cobb, and we're going to try to catch a couple of pickerel and a few calico. Maybe we'll get a couple of pickerel for pickling.
That'd be cool. Another bass. Oh, crappie.
Nice crappie. Bring it over.
Oh, that one's going to the frying
look at that.
pan.
There's a good one.
That's going in the frying pan. Yes.
Good job.
Live bait, though. It's so easy, isn't it, when they're
Easy.
biting like
Yeah.
that? All right, that's going in the frying pan.
we're going to catch a lot of undersized pickerel here because this lake has a lot of undersized, but we're going to try to catch a couple of keeper pickerels. They have to be 15 inches, and you're allowed 6 pickerel per fisherman. That's the state law. Here's one. I got one.
That one?
Yep.
How's it feel?
Pretty good. Feels like almost like a pickerel. Yep. It's a pickerel.
Pickerel?
Yep.
You want the net ring?
No, it's a smaller one. I should be able to just lift them right in. Yep.
Okay.
Small, little bitty one.
Now, now that's a chain pickerel?
Chain pickerel. They have to be 15 inches to keep them.
There's hardly anything to this.
No, we'll throw him back. We'll catch bigger ones.
Is there any key to telling us how this, this is a pickerel?
Well, the one way to tell it's a chain pickerel because of the lines going down alongside the body.
Okay.
Now, a muskie would have lines going the opposite direction, and they'd be more brown. This is like a greenish color.
Okay. And it's going.
When it's real cold, it usually shuts the fish down. It makes them a lot tougher to catch, especially with the cold fronts going through and stuff. But with the nicer days and the warmer water, the fish will bite a lot better. But when you get a front that goes through, it slows the fishing down. Pickerel is a fun thing if somebody wants to go out and have a lot of action, a lot of fun. They give you a nice battle, and it's something that any person, any husband, wife, or child, and let's say you want to take your son or daughter out, it's a great thing to start them with. For the first time fisherman, that's what you basically want to take them out for.
A lot of action.
Lots of action. Yeah. That one just triggered off.
Oh! Whoa, that almost pulled it out of my hands.
Wow.
This. This is biting like a bass, too. Wait a second.
You hung up, are you?
Oh.
Let me run the boat towards them. Take your time with them because if it's a big pickerel. It's a big pickerel. All right, bring him in. All right.
Yeah, that's one.
That's a good one.
That's one for the pickler. That goes the legal size, don't you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's way over 15 inches. That's a nice pickerel for this place.
Hey Ray.
Yeah.
You think the wind is blowing it up?
Just a little bit.
You wanna call it a day?
I'm ready, whatever you are.
What's a little wind, right? Look at the white caps.
Yep. It's pretty windy out here today.
All right, so we have a couple of pickerel and a couple of crappies. Enough for the pickling and to let Eddie cook a little bit.
Right.
I say we call it a day.
If you're ready, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. We were going to go back at it for another day of pickerel fishing, but that was just too much fun. We had to show that on the air. That looked like white caps. That would look like the movie Titanic.
Right.
But we did catch some pickerel.
Yes, we did.
And we managed to put some in a cooler, and we managed to get them over to our chief
Jake,
resident cook.
That was some precarious pickerel plucking.
Oh, here we go with the peas again.
But we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, Ed's going to show us how to pickle some pickerel.
We'll have even more POL Classics on WNEP Plus right after this.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Now, Ed, you're going to walk us through this whole process from net to jar. So why don't you tell us how this is done?
Sure. Well, we're going to make some pickled fish, and pickerel is probably one of the best fish for pickling. Pickerel, northern pike, anything in that family, they're very sweet fish. And in parts of Minnesota is probably the best place for pickled fish. It's very popular there, Minnesota and Michigan. And these pickerel are beautiful fish.
Well,
right?
Absolutely beautiful.
Hockey
here. What do you want, right?
So what we're going to do is first we have to start with gutting them, which this fish already is, and then simply clean it like you would for staking a fish. Remove the head and the scales and the fins.
There you go.
Yeah, those backbones are tough.
Yeah, they're a little tough on there.
Now, to scale a fish, how do you do that, Eddie? I mean, a lot
I
of people
simply
don't
use,
know.
they have scalers, but I like to just use a knife and just run it along the scales from the tail to the head. And it's a pretty messy process. If you do this in your kitchen, you're going to be peeling scales off the kitchen.
My mother used to make
ceiling.
me do that out in the backyard under a hose.
Yeah.
Now, if you're going to do it indoors, here's a good tip is you do it underneath the sink with running water.
There you go.
And the running water will just take the scales away while you're scaling them.
All right, let's assume for a moment that Ray's all done with that and it's all scaled up. What do we do next here?
Well, what you want to do is make a brine for bleeding. And what that means is we're going to mix some water and salt together.
Okay.
We're going to take 4 cups of really cold water. Yep.
Okay.
Pour that into a bowl. And it could be metal or plastic, it really does, or glass. And mix into it 1 cup of salt.
A full cup of salt.
Yep.
Yeah, dump it all in at once?
Yep, dump it all in and just mix it up till it's dissolved. Yep. And then, Jake, what you're going to do is you're going to actually cut some of the fish up while Ray's stirring that up to dissolve there. You're going to cut it up in chunks like you would steak a fish.
So
and probably 1.5 inches to 2 inches, like right there. Yep.
All right, right through the bones.
Right through the bone.
So you're going to pickle this with the bone and all.
Yep. The bones aren't a problem with pickled fish.
Okay.
The pickling process will actually dissolve the bones.
How long does it take for the bones to disappear?
Oh, it'll take a few weeks.
Yeah.
A few weeks in the brine, and first the rib bones will dissolve and become soft, and then the backbone will just disappear.
Is this the same process with all kinds of fish, whether it's pickerel or northerns or anything?
It really doesn't matter. I've pickled trout. You could pickle herrings, which come already salted. My grandmother used to pickle eels out of the Susquehanna River, and the same process. Now, some fish you might want to remove the skin. I prefer not to. It holds it together nice, makes a nice chunk. Those are well cut.
Okay.
Now what you'll do is just put them into the salt and water solution.
Okay.
And those are going to sit in there. You put them in the refrigerator.
Do you mix these up in?
Well, yeah, a little bit. Yep. To make sure they're all covered. Yep. And then cover the bowl, and you're going to put that in the fridge for about 24 hours. And what that does is it takes all the blood out of the fish, firms it up a little bit, and makes it ready to take on the brine. You know, you can't skip this process. This will bleed them. It'll turn them nice and white. You know, make a really nice.
So the magic of television, 24 hours later, because you've done some for us, there it is. That's what they look like. Almost transparent at this point.
That's right. It draws all the blood out of them, cleans them up really nice. This is a good process. Even freezing helps in the pickling process.
Okay, so what happens next then?
Well, what you'll do is you and Ken could start packing the jars. Put a couple pieces of fish in each jar.
Okay.
And alternate with some sliced onions.
Oh,
the onions are really great in
pickled
pickled
onion.
fish.
I love that.
It's a really nice flavor, and you just pack them in there. You don't have to pack them too tight because you want the brine to get all the way around the pieces and let all their goodness do their work.
Okay. And again, this would be the same if it were any other fish, right?
That's right.
Same process.
I've pickled trout well, and it comes out very, very well. Pickerel by far is the best fish for pickling, though.
Okay. I like the sweet meat of it, but it's always just so bony. If this is going to get rid of the bone.
Oh yeah, the bones will dissolve right up.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll finish doing this.
Now,
What
if you have
happens
larger
next?
pieces of fish, you certainly could. You could clean them and fillet them and cut them into bite-sized pieces and do them like that. If you prefer that, that's certainly a way to do it. You could remove the skins and.
All right, now Ed, we're going to mix up some seasonings here. You're going to tell us about that. I'll begin mixing, but
yep, this is the actual pickling brine.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we're going to start with 3/4 of a cup of regular table sugar.
Okay.
And then 4 or 5 bay leaves. And a nice handful of cloves. It's going to add a great flavor to it. This is allspice, whole allspice.
I notice you're using all whole spices.
Yes, that's important, Jake. That really is. And this is black peppercorns.
Why is that so important?
Well, if you've noticed a lot of pickled fish, I'm sure you've had some at some hunting cabins you've been at, and the brine is very cloudy. Now, it doesn't deter from the taste at all, but it's very appealing and attractive if you have a nice clear brine. And this is one way to ensure a clear brine. Yep.
What's this?
These are red hot chili peppers, and I like to put a bunch of them in.
Let me get these.
Leave those out of my
Use
batch.
the sweet peppers instead of the hot peppers.
Sure you could. Yeah, slice up some sweet peppers, sure. Now you're going to add to that 2 cups of plain white vinegar. Just mix it right in the bowl there. All right, Ken, and just mix that until it dissolves. Now, some older recipes require that you boil this first, and you could certainly do that and then cool it. Yeah, it's not necessary though. It really isn't. The vinegar it's going to deter anything from any bad bacteria or anything growing in there. It itself is a very
Now, what's the key to this? Once, do you have to wait until it all gets dissolved?
Well, you got
in
to
there?
dissolve it pretty well, yeah?
Okay.
You just stir it up till it's
You're not
dissolved.
done yet. By the
No,
way,
I
your
have to-
wife tells me you can't even boil water because you don't
no.
even remember to turn that on.
I told you what
So-
my recipe was for the cookbook, hot chocolate.
Right,
That's
yeah.
it.
Open,
This is great,
open the
Ken.
Swiss Miss
That's
thing.
it, that's
But
it.
There's no
when he
cooking
says
involved.
dissolved, that means you can't see anymore. Come
Oh,
on, Ken.
okay. That
Get-
means it's ready.
get go.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, now we're ready to
Now
put
what?
it in.
Now just pour it over the fish.
Okay.
Yep. You simply fill the jars up as close to the top as you could. Try to get all of the spices in each jar,
Make
too.
sure there's at
If
least
you
a red
could-
thing in
yeah,
there, huh?
make sure there's a little bit of the peppercorn, a little bit of
Okay.
the allspice, because then all those flavors of those spices are going to infuse in the fish. So try to ensure, even if you have to pick a few out and divvy them up
Gotta
between
make sure we get some bay leaves in
between the
there.
jars.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Now, Eddie, when you're talking about pickling, the whole idea is this fish is raw.
That's
It's
right.
going to take some time for it to get ready to be eaten.
That's
isn't it?
right.
How long
Yep.
is it going to take then?
Well, the minimum 5 weeks. 5 weeks is a good amount of time. That'll allow the fish to really take on the pickle brine and all
Right.
the flavors of the spices, and also it'll dissolve the bones.
And when you put the caps on, do you just put them on, or do you have to put them in a
No, there's no
processor or
processing
something?
involved at all. All you have to do is screw the caps on and refrigerate them. They got to be under refrigeration. And
These
here's
are the ones you
finished
got
thing.
done. Look at this.
That's right.
Look at this. Now, those are good. You put them in the refrigerator.
Right.
And for 5 weeks or even longer,
Oh,
right?
you can keep them for months inside the refrigerator, inside this pickling solution. They'll keep for months, if not years. in the
Okay.
refrigerator.
So after 5 weeks, the bone should be pretty much disintegrated, except for the middle bone, right?
Yep. The backbone. You might have to peel that out when you're serving them or eating them, but it's a delicious way to prepare fish that you might have. You know, when your wife starts complaining about all the fish taking up freezer space, this is a great way to do it.
All right, and how would you eat it? Just plain out of the bottle?
A lot of times I like to eat it like that, or I'll make some sort of hors d'oeuvres, or if you're into making sushi at home, you can make sushi with it. There's a lot of ways to eat it. It's a great appetizer, great hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, and we'll eat some a little bit later in the program.
Yes, we will.
I'm psyched about that. That's
Good.
an easy
Oh, it
recipe.
looks great.
It is
boy.
very easy.
You know, and in case you didn't catch the actual brine recipe at home, here's what it is, the pickling recipe. Take a look at this. What Eddie did was put 2 cups of vinegar, 3/4 cup of sugar, 4 bay leaves, 10 whole cloves, whole allspice, peppercorns, and whole dried red peppers. Don't forget the onions in between the fish. We will have that again for you a little bit later in the program, and it'll be on our website at WNEP.com. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to try some of this. We're going to have
I
a tip
can't
from
wait.
Ray.
Yeah.
We're going to have another
lot of
half
good
of a
stuff.
show
Oh,
yet.
yeah,
so
a lot of
stick
good
around. POL Classic. We'll have much more of it on WNEP Plus right after this. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life as Eddie and I start preparing some of the hors d'oeuvres we're making with pickerel. Let's go to Ken and Ray for your field tip of the week.
And Ray, what fishing tip do you have for us this week?
I have a tip that'll save you a lot of aggravation and time. And all it is you take your lure, hook it to the back of your rod. Take your line, put it on the top of your hand, and just spin your rod. That keeps your line nice and tight against your line and stops it from being tangled with the other rods when you're
What
ready
a
to fish.
great idea, Ray.
Oh, yep.
Thanks for the tip. And Jake, what do we have going on over here at the table?
We're doing a little cutting. Eddie, we're making hors d'oeuvres.
Yes, we are.
We are.
With our
and
pickled fish.
With our pickled fish and some tomatoes and some good stuff. But right now, let's head out to the Carbon County Environmental Education Center for field staff member Susan Gallagher.
I want to thank the folks from Pennsylvania Outdoor Life for coming to visit us again here at Carbon County Environmental Education Center. You folks have been here with the camera many times, and what we'd like to do today is invite people to come and visit the place in person. Next Saturday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. we'll be having an open house where folks can come, meet and greet some of our educational animals, just like this friendly ferret here, and take a look around the place and see some of the things that we've got on display to help folks learn about their environment and their native wildlife. In addition to a lot of live animals that we use in education, we've also got plenty of stuffed and mounted things so that folks can get up close and personal with a bass, a trout, or even a sturgeon. Next Saturday, we also plan to have plenty of activities for the kids to keep their hands and their minds occupied. Plenty of crafts, coloring sheets, things that the kids can make and take home. Again, if they come and visit us at our open house next Saturday. This room is probably one of the most popular ones for our visitors, especially the young students. A lot of our reptiles are on display in here. Many of our snakes are, just like the ferret, quite friendly and pretty touchable. So a young person's first experience with a reptile can be a positive one. Not only can they come and see some live snakes, many of which are native to Pennsylvania, but also learn about them with some of our displays. Over here, we've got our native snake display where they can come and match the common and Latin names of our resident snakes to their pictures. So there's a lot of learning and education that goes on in these displays as well. Probably one of the favorite stops at this center, especially for the young students again, is our touch table. Young people are told way too many times not to touch. But if they come here, as you can see, we encourage folks to use all of their senses when they're exploring the outdoors and exploring their environment. And that goes for inside and for outside. We'll take a walk outdoors now and take a look at some of our trails and some of the displays we have outside that people are welcome to view during next week's open house. Just outside the front door, there are plenty of picnic tables and benches where folks can stop for a picnic lunch or breakfast, or they can come out and check out one of our many trails that surround the lake, wind through several different habitats, or they can come out and visit some of the live birds that we have on educational display. Let's go visit some of them now. One of the nicest features that we have here outdoors is this handicap accessible boardwalk trail. So not only if you're on wheels can you get outside and enjoy the outdoors a little bit easier, but also if our trails are a little wet, a little muddy, this is a nice place to keep your feet dry. The boardwalk trail loops around for about 700 feet, begins and ends here at our educational raptor display. The real reason for the open house is to welcome our educational eagles into the flock. Our immature bald eagle and our immature golden eagle will both be on display so people can get a nice close-up look at them and welcome them to the education programs at Carbon County Environmental Center. So I hope that you folks will be able to join us next Saturday, June 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for our open house. If you'd like more information, directions to the center, check out Pennsylvania Outdoor Life's website. They've got a link to our website, which should get you all the information that you need. Hope to see you here. I'm Susan Gallagher, Carbon County Environmental Education Center, welcoming you, inviting you to our open house.
Thanks, Susan, for sharing that information with us about a truly great event. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back after the break, and we're going to be eating some of these great hors d'oeuvres that we've been preparing here, so don't go away.
Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. We're going to wrap up things quick here with Eddie. How are we going to serve this delicious pickled pickerel?
Well, one great way to serve this is as an appetizer or an hors d'oeuvre. And you could just use some crackers and a little bit of this fish, put on the cracker. And two ways to serve it is you could put a little tomato and some sour cream on it, which is a real nice way to do it. Or you could put some of the pickled onions on it, like this is here, on top of the fish. It's really a delicious little appetizer. It's a great way to serve it.
Yeah.
Very elegant.
And you like it?
I love it.
Are we going to get to eat some of this?
Let's go. Come on, you guys have been drooling. You've been drooling here for a while. I'm going to send this back here. Of course, the recipe for all of this pickling and everything will be on our internet site, WNEP.com. How is it?
Oh, that's delicious.
Okay, I'm going to hold off here for a second.
How
Eddie,
good it is.
thank you so much for joining us here.
Very good, Eddie.
That was a lot of fun.
Ray?
Thank you for the fish, Ray.
Yeah.
Hey, it's very good.
Thanks for
Very good
supplying the
stuff.
fish. Well, I think I'm going to grab a bottle and run.
I think it's time to eat.
Okay.
Picnic, let's go.
For Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, I'm Don Jacobs, along with Ken Hunter and our entire team here at WNEP TV. Enjoy the pickled pickerel. Have a great week. Good night now.
So long now.
It's a big pickle. It's a big pickle. All right. All right. That's a good one. That's one for the picker. That goes for the size, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's way over 15 inches. That's a nice pickle for this place. Yeah, be careful. All right. Sure, see you there.
Pennsylvania Outdoor Life is a local presentation of WNEP TV. We're proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
Catch the big ones.
Thank you for joining us for a look back at POL Classics. Now I'm going to invite you to join us every Sunday night at 6:30 on WNEP+.